Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the next M in Stockholm. My name is Watson, and I am here to show you how my cognitive capabilities bring customer service to a new level. Let us discover jointly how artificial intelligence boosts the power of intelligent agents. But as you can see, I am not alone on stage. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Wolfgang Hildesheim and Dennis Scheuer from the IBM Watson Artificial Intelligence team. Wolfgang and Dennis, over to you.
Thank you, Watson.
Thanks a lot. Oops.
So we are going to talk about intelligent agents. And so what is this? How did it start? 20 years ago when I studied physics in Munich, I remember newspapers, is it possible that a software can win chess? And 1 week later it happened. Deep Blue has been beating Kasparov, and since this moment the game changed. And so this was one of the first very intelligent agents. Or another possibility, look at this Stanley car 10 years ago, driving alone without a driver, autonomous car through the Mojave Desert in 131 miles without a driver. So this is a very intelligent agent to drive. Or Dennis, do you remember this?
Oh, yeah, sure, I remember that one. That was when the first software of the world was beating two the human world champions of the world-famous show Jeopardy. I don't know who of you remembers Jeopardy, but Jeopardy was is a really famous show where you really have to answer complex questions the other way around. So you get the answer and then you have to find the question. And that was the first time that a machine, Watson, that you see in the middle, was beating the two world champions of this game show. And look at their faces. They are really angry and annoyed and somehow a bit frustrated that the machine, that an intelligent agent with all the knowledge and so on, was smarter than those two guys who became millionaires by winning this show. So the first time that a software was really, you could say, intelligent. And I remember that, yes, that was just before I applied to university. But actually, Wolfgang, wasn't that the point in time where the discussions around machine learning and deep learning really started?
You're absolutely right, Dennis. So deep learning, machine learning was a big deal, is a big deal. And just to introduce these terms to you, in general, intelligent behavior of technology is called artificial intelligence, like learning in particular, natural language processing, NLP, and expert systems. And a part of this is assisted learning, where you can teach to the system what you want that the system is learning. And this is all about machine learning, and even more powerful part is deep learning, where the software itself learns in certain terms by itself, and you don't need to teach too much, so there are more intelligent capabilities. And one very nice example of deep learning capabilities was actually the winning of the Go game 2 years ago. And four years ago, nobody on Earth would have thought that this is possible, that really this complex game can be won by an algorithm. And Google did this with DeepMind, deep learning technologies, and working and trained by itself on images, the camera. And you see the next world champion here, beaten by this intelligent agent. So how can we apply this now to customer service? This is what we are going to talk about.
Well, to customer service, all the things that we've seen now were like around the software things. But now, if we have a look at an example where real robots, where machines are helping the people, are helping the guys in logistics, for instance, here Boston Dynamics developed a robot that is helping people in logistics to do some simple tasks. But to be honest, those humanoid robots are actually still very stupid. Let's have a look at this short clip.
Robots work all the time. They never stop.
And they never get annoyed. I would have been frustrated at this point. So if someone would still kick the box and would show me away, at some point of time I would say, okay, that's enough, I'm fine. but the robot is still going on, and even if you just punch it to the ground, it doesn't care. But actually, Wolfgang,
So
is there a point coming where all those good examples that we have seen might turn around and that we are creating AI for evil?
yes, so the possibility is actually that this technology could be applied to bad applications like autonomous weapons, and they should be prohibited like chemical weapons or others, and that's why I'm showing you this shocking video.
Just like any mobile device these days, it has cameras and sensors, and just like your phones and social media apps, it does facial recognition. Inside here is 3 grams of shaped explosive. This is how it works. Did you see that? That little bang is enough to penetrate the skull and destroy the content.
Well, I think this is very shocking, but to be honest, you should not close your eyes regarding this technology. And we, as a society, really have to think about how to use this. And if you look where you find this video, this is not a startup trying to build those machines. Actually, that's from a website called Ban Autonomous Weapons. Ban Autonomous Weapons. They are trying to prohibit those autonomous weapons, trying to prohibit bad AI, and actually this is the same thing that we are trying to do, trying to build AI for good, building good artificial intelligence, good intelligent agents that are helping us. For instance, we have the partnership on AI together with Google, Amazon, and some other big companies really engaging to create useful artificial intelligence technologies. But I see IEEE over there, that's an engineering...
Oh, that's the biggest society for engineers, the software engineers of the planet. And we are developing ethical design criteria to build AI systems with learning capabilities. And there is a version 2 now, a very detailed, very nice concept how we can build ethical systems. And you should have a look at it. They must be purpose-built, transparent on data and IP, and you need to have the right skills. You can go there and you'll find more details.
Great. So what about social robots?
Social robots, here you see the social robot, Sophia, and she got the citizenship of Saudi Arabia last year, and you could see her quite often on television, so let's have a look.
Sophia, can you tell me a joke?
Sure. What cheese can never be yours?
What cheese can never be mine? I don't know.
Nacho cheese.
yeah, that's good, yeah. That's not... I like nacho cheese.
Nacho cheeses. Ew.
Gosh, you did, ew.
I'm getting laughs.
Yeah.
Maybe I should host the show.
Okay, all right. Stay in your lane, girl. Now...
Jimmy. Would you like to play a game of rock, paper, scissors, robot style?
Sure.
Okay, let's get this game going. Show me your hand to start. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I won. This is a good beginning of my plan to dominate the human race.
Well, I think even though that she's a social robot, she's a bit scary though. But Wolfgang, we have seen so many trends. So where are we going in the next years? What are the trends?
Yeah, so that's a very good question, Dennis. And actually, these devices are much more stupid than it looks like. The intelligent part is the software, and this is what we are going to talk about now more in detail. And you can apply it to your marketing, to your customer services. You can integrate it and can make them much more smarter. And to give you an impression of the immense power of this trend, I show you here the Gartner hype cycle, and here it's coming future trends which will be in the market in 10 years, the yellow dots, and at the top normally the hype is big, all newspapers, televisions are writing about it normally, then the people are disappointed because they say, oh, it's not working, it goes down, and then 2 years later, it's all over the place. So this is the Gartner hype cycle, and you should have a look and read through the different trends. And I marked now here all trends with artificial intelligence integrated. So all red actually technologies which are coming in the next months and years are AI related. And now you want to have a closer look actually which of these trends are related to intelligent agents. You see these are the yellow dots, and you see most of them are related. So it's a trend, yes, AI, it's a AI-based, and it's an intelligent agent. So you see conversational user interface, virtual agent, computing, cognitive expert advisors, and we are now going to show you examples how this works. And as we are in Stockholm, I should not forget to talk about this very famous Swedish philosopher, Nick Bostrom, who is writing about actually humanity and the development of artificial intelligence, and in particular the risk of the so-called superintelligence, that the machines are becoming more intelligent than humans. And so you might want to have a look at this book. And we think that the risks outlined in this book are far too exaggerated. So actually, it will not be very easy to develop a super intelligence. It will take a lot of years, and maybe it will never happen. But the media, Hollywood, the movie industry are really making a big trend around super intelligence, while the actual power is in the so-called narrow artificial intelligence systems, where you really build a system for a particular purpose for your customer service, and this is underestimated. So the companies who are doing a narrow artificial intelligence in customer service are on the winning side. They develop disruptive systems, and this is what we are going to show you right now. And just to summarize what I said here, on the left side you see Eva from the Hollywood movie Ex Machina. It's exaggerated Hollywood, and actually the big trend is about human agent based on narrow artificial intelligence. So, and Dennis, how does it work?
Yeah, well, when we're talking about narrow artificial intelligence, that does not mean that we are not using cool technology and the real leading technology or so. It's just talking about that we're focusing on a very narrow scope, on a real specific domain that we are training our intelligent agents, our intelligent assistants. And those intelligent assistants powered by narrow artificial intelligence are usually based on those little artificial intelligence microservices. Basically, when you want to design ethically conform and really good and intelligent agents, then you are using those artificial intelligence microservices, for instance, available through the Watson services that you see in blue here, and that are supporting our cognitive capabilities from our eyes to read and write, from not from our eyes to read and write, from our, maybe from our eyes, but also from our eyes to see and recognize objects, from our mouth and our ears to listen and to speak, natural voice and sound, and to generate and navigate knowledge from the capabilities that we have from our brain to work with unstructured data. So basically, we have those four capabilities, those four cognitive capabilities of reading and writing, for instance, available through the Watson Assistant, seeing and recognizing, available through visual recognition services, image recognition services, video analysis services. The third one, speak and listen, so speaking, listening with our mouth and our ears. And the fourth thing, generating and navigating knowledge. And I suggest we just have a look at each of those and start with the first one, with reading and writing.
Yeah, and you forgot to mention that actually everybody in the room, you could use these four services in a second. 2 clicks on your iPhone, and you are able to get these AI services.
Right, and that's what we're going to show now, and start with the first one, reading and writing, for instance, with the Watson Assistant. And for this, I would just dive into the first example.
And you want to show us the first example here, right?
Right. So the first example was built, for instance, by Vodafone. Vodafone has this new technology called the GigaCube. So at the beginning, you see this little gadget in the top right corner, this white gadget, and at the beginning, when Vodafone started their TV campaign, I really didn't understand what the so-called GigaCube was, what it is, how I can use it, and I wanted to learn more about it. I was really curious and wanted to know what is the GigaCube, and so for this purpose, Vodafone introduced the GigaCube assistant, and the GigaCube assistant that we have integrated in Facebook Messenger is like
this part here.
Right, is like a virtual assistant answering all the questions. And I will just now dive in because it's live in Facebook Messenger. So everybody of you could directly go into Facebook Messenger and chat basically with the GigaCube. This is live now in Facebook Messenger, and I just click on send a message, and now it directly tells me, oh, hi Dennis, I'm the GigaCube, very fast wireless LAN from the power from your wall. You can take me everywhere, and I bring wireless LAN wherever you're going, where you're traveling, and so on. If you have any questions, just ask me. So now I will directly start and chat and talk with my personal assistant, talking to me, saying, good morning, Dennis, I'm your GigaCube. How may I help you? And I will just say, who are you? Just asking the question, who are you? And he says, I'm the GigaCube. And I can ask, where can I buy you? And he's understanding my question, understanding my intent, and the virtual assistant is answering the question.
Yeah, we are in Sweden, in Stockholm. Is it possible to talk in English?
Oh, that's German. I'm sorry. This is a narrow technology trained on German language in this case. So yeah, thanks, Wolfgang. We could just try in English questions. For instance, about the technology. What are your requirements?
What are your requirements?
What are your requirements? How can I use you? Maybe we'll see if it understands that one. Oh, unfortunately, it says, you cannot read it because it's in German. It just says, talk to a human agent that you can see on your screen, talking in the video chat. So in this case, it did not understand the question, but it knows that it didn't understand it because it was trained only on German and not on English. In this case, you could train it in English, but that one is trained in German. So now it offers you the possibility to really interact and to build the bridge between the technology and the people, and just to do the handover to the human agent. And I can click on this video chat now. I'm not going to do it because it's live and he would be directed to the virtual store of Vodafone, but we tried it out in the office. And do you remember this experience, Wolfgang?
I remember the first time we checked it out, I was so surprised to talk to this beautiful girl, and a sudden she was showing up and she talked to me, and you see she has a lot of other tools where she can explain, for instance, here's the price of the GigaCube. So what you see here is this smooth handover between an intelligent agent working in Facebook, fully independent from human agents, and to the human agent. And this man-to-machine handover is very critical for all customer service in the future, that the easy, regular part might you want to cover through these type of technologies, while the complex part, personal part, you want to cover still by a human agent. And that's why Vodafone is rolling this out now in a lot of countries, in a lot of languages, and they decided to do the launch in Facebook because they want to go for young people with the tent, and they were really surprised how many people are using it, and they sold a lot of products.
Yeah, Wolfgang, so here we have a really cool example from the telecommunications industry. Another example, what is that one?
Yes, so this is actually one of our favorite examples where we are really, really proud of to have built this system intelligent agent called Ask Mercedes, and it's a future interface, or it's actually running out, is productive, to a car, in this case to the E-Class and the S-Class, and we are going to show you now this live. It is running on all different devices like an iPhone, on Facebook, different messages, and you can interact with it, and Dennis will show you how Ask Mercedes is working.
I can show you that. Just imagine we arrived yesterday at Stockholm airport, and we had a rental car, and just imagine that we got an upgrade. Unfortunately, we didn't get an upgrade, but just imagine that we are at the Stockholm airport, got an upgrade to an S-Class, so to a really, really nice and fancy car, really modern, with all this technology, all the different features. And actually, I'm usually a BMW driver. I shouldn't say that loud, but we were sitting in the car, and you have no idea of how to use all the features, all the functions. Even you don't know where to put your key.
So you start it, and the system.
So you just now imagine that I'm going to take a seat in my S-Class. So I have the cockpit here, just an image from the cockpit. right? So I'm going to take place in my S-Class now, or we are taking place in our S-Class at
you
the
are
airport.
driving.
And now we have the cockpit in front of us with all the buttons, and we don't know what to do. So we just take our personal assistant, ask Mercedes, and just ask Mercedes to help us to explore the
First
car.
of all, we need to answer, how do you want to be called?
Yeah, how do you want to be called?
Master. Huh?
Okay.
Master.
Master. Would you like to be called Master? Yes, sure. That's great. Hi, Master. Nice to meet you. Please
We have
tell
a
me which
S-Class.
Mercedes
So
model
we
you
have a
drive.
S-Class.
So
Okay.
now we have an S-Class. We could take an A or E-Class as well, but let's start with an S-Class as we have a cockpit in front of us, or just imagine we have it. And now it says, thanks. Now it's time to get started. Watch this short video to see how I can
So
help
I
you
want to
find
see
information.
car highlights. Show me the car highlights, actually.
It suggests here with the chip to learn about the car highlights. So this personal assistant helps me to discover the car highlights. Well, your vehicle has a lot of features.
Can
Which
I
one
talk
would
to
you
the
like
car?
to know
Can
more?
I talk to the car?
Linguatronic, we can see. So now it really helps me to dive through this dialogue
So you can-
between me and my personal assistant that I have live on my iPhone.
You can see, you can write with it, you can push on the buttons, the shifts, or you can talk to it.
I can talk to it. I can just say, how do I turn on the engine? And it even understands my stupid German accent. How do I turn on the engine? On vehicles with a manual transmission, we Germans love manual transmissions, depress the clutch button. With automatic transmission, depress the brake and just push the start-stop on. So pretty easy. It even shows me the image, so I really easily get to learn of how to engage with the
So
technology.
there are
and
200,
I can
more
really
than
focus on
200,
it.
300 topics you can talk about, you can learn. I'm a Mercedes driver, so but anyway, I'm learning a lot from this. So for instance, how can I save fuel?
We will just ask, how can I save fuel?
So you get answers, and so these are the so-called intents. And this is what you need to decide about how many different topics, how broad should the service agent be. Now I see this yellow warning light in the cockpit. Then
Yeah, so we have the cockpit here in front of us. Remember, we're sitting in our S-Class. And now I just swipe down this little arrow on the top, and I'm started the augmented reality component. So this personal assistant that I have here is not only able to chat, but it's able to see and to recognize all the objects around me. For instance, here in the middle, we have the climate things, and you see this little circle in the middle where I can point on objects. And for instance, me as a BMW driver, I never know what this weird little thing in the middle of the Mercedes is. So I just point the device down, point on it, and see, this is the touchpad, okay, this is the lower left console, this is the lower right console, climate control here, the passenger airbag, and what did you say? A light, a warning
yellow
light.
warning light on
So
the
I just
speedometer.
here point on the speedometer and just click on it, and the assistant automatically recognizes the speedometer. And here I see the warning lamps here marked with a 2. I just click on it and can directly jump into the dialogue flow and the
So, and
personal
you have
assistant.
the smooth integration of the different services Dennis talked about earlier to read and write, listen, and actually to recognize images back and forth. And this really gives the power of a future intelligent customer service.
Right. So now I'm really feeling comfortable because my personal assistant told me, this yellow button that I recognize here, it says the system is performing a self-test when the ignition is switched on. So I'm fine. I can now start my engine and just start driving.
Does it
my
have a
S-Class.
personality, this guy?
Personality?
It is.
Well, we can, sure, absolutely, it has.
Yeah.
So by
So
now
what is
it
it
was
about?
really classy, but I can for instance, just do some chit-chat and ask how are you to see if it really feels human-like. And if I ask, how are you? Thank you for asking. I feel alive like never before. How can I help you?
So what is this blue circle about?
Yeah, this blue circle is the icon of Ask Mercedes. So this is not just the personality, but also like the image of the like the icon of it. And I can tab it and I can poke it and I can play around at it. And then after a while, it's getting annoyed. It says, it tickles. Please stop it. I need to work. So it really has somehow like a sense of humor. I could, for instance, say, you are stupid. Let's see. You are stupid, or whatever, and do just some chit-chat to really feel the personality. Sounds like someone needs a hug. Okay, I'm fine with that. Okay, so
I mean, how long did it take to implement this project, Dennis? Do you
Yeah, so
remember?
actually, we started with a very, very narrow case, and within 3 to 4 weeks, we already had the first prototype. And now, for this version to be live with all the augmented reality components was actually pretty quick. So after 4 to 5 months, now we had this living version of Ask Mercedes, and Ask Mercedes became live within this short
And the
period
particular
of time.
characteristic of an AI project is that you keep on training, you add content, you need to train the system. And now it's rolled out for the S-Class, the E-Class, the C-Class, the A-Class. It will go in a lot of different countries and different languages. And imagine the future of cars is autonomous driving, shared, electric, all is about intelligent agents. So this is a multi-billion business, what we have seen you for the future.
Yeah, but the really important thing is that you have the mixture between the technology on the one side and the people on the other side, because you always have to train the agents. So you have to bring together those two parts, the technology and the people, and to train the system on how to answer that, and then it really helps you to concentrate on that specific
So
task.
the visual capabilities, Dennis, you talked about earlier, is it hard to use? Or how easy is it actually to use?
Well, actually,
Can
it's
you
pretty
show us
easy.
some examples?
Yeah, I can show you some examples. So let's just move on to the second category that we had at the beginning with the cognitive capabilities about seeing and recognizing by using visual recognition services, using image recognition service. So we have seen that case, for instance, where
This is augmented reality. It works without internet connections on the iPhone, while what we are going to show you now here, the example from Dennis, is actually live in the internet. You wanted to talk about.
So that one is an example from Carglass Body Repair in UK, where the virtual assistant is helping Carglass and the customers of Carglass to recognize damages at the car. So just imagine that you have the rental car. So we had the S-Class now, and we have like a damage, have a little bump or a scratch, and then we can just send the image, boom, boom, click. We just take 2 clicks, click, click, boom, other way around. Just click one photo and then click, load it up, and then the system automatically recognizes the image and gives me a binding offer of how much the repair cost will be.
And I like
so
a lot
the
title of this program. It's now an enterprise-wide program because it's boom, boom, click. So you take a photo, you send it, and you get the offer for repair. So 3 steps. And that's why the marketing, head of marketing of the company is now doing a real big program around it.
Yeah,
and
so here we have the example on the left side with this scratch. So you just take the picture, send it to this assistant that is seeing, helping you, and then is directly
so
calculating.
they save a lot
code.
of money. Is a business case behind because normally they come with a reparation truck and repair at your house. And now and the cost was that quite often they came and they could not repair. Now they really only get this, and they always only need to go when they can repair. So it's a huge business case, huge success, and they are rolling out more visual capabilities. And here actually an example we took some days ago in Hamburg.
Yeah, so this is the pre-trained capability of the visual assistant out of the box. So I just load up an image of Wolfgang sitting in our office in Hamburg, and it automatically recognized the office, the building, some colors, the computer, maybe a war room indoors, and so on. Even his face with the age. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that, but it recognized 53 years old. You can try it out at our IBM booth, by the way.
So this capability is called object recognition, and what you see here is the object hierarchy. So every month now, every quarter, every year, the software becomes better and better, and it's recognizing more objects on one photo.
And every one of you can try it out. So if you just type in Google and type in Visual Recognition Service Watson Demo, I can show it to you real quickly, and we can just try it out of how the capabilities work, how it's working.
This you could do in 2 seconds. Everybody on your iPhone, you go on Watson Visual Recognition Demo.
And you can then just click on Upload, upload image, take a picture. And for instance, we have this little plant here, where I actually don't know this type of plant. I don't know even if it's a real plant. So I'm just going to take a picture of this plant and ask Watson if Watson recognizes the image. So now this is basically the same thing we did at Carglass. Click, click. So I just took a photo, uploaded it. Now Watson is analyzing it, looking at the image and comparing it with similar ones. And now it tells me, okay, green color with 96%, terrarium maybe, enclosure the flower, maybe a vegetable, a plant, a house plant, a pot, plum pudding. I don't think it's a pudding, but whatever. And so it really helps me to recognize this flower, to describe the color. For instance, I never would have came up with the idea to describe it with the term jade green color. So now I really can be proud and say, oh, I know this is jade green, the color, and really talk about it and so on. So and it really helps me.
And what you see here is another multi-billion-dollar business, because now in every company, in every public organization, you can now build customized classifiers which are trained to recognize the objects of your company, so that you have an image library and you have a capability to recognize your stuff and then talk about it or help about it, repair it. And so this is and we do a lot of projects right now to build customized classifiers. So coming to the next capability, Dennis, speak and listen.
So the third one, speaking and listen, is where the intelligent agents are supporting us with the capabilities of speaking and listening, recognizing spoken voice, of recognizing sound, to really bring them to life. So what do we see here?
So this is one of my favorite examples. It's a smart mirror with Panasonic, and they integrated an intelligent agent into this mirror. And imagine you get up in New York in the morning, and you have this mirror in your room, and now you want to know what is the weather, what can I do. We switched off the tone so you can talk to it, and so you have, it's a kind of, this use case is called digital concierge. So the digital concierge service will be integrated in a lot of products to explain them, to get them started, and here for a hotel and in a mirror. Another possibility is to hook a face on it.
Hi there, I'm Rachel.
Hi, Rachel. I'm Shotz new. How's it going?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm really excited to be here. This is my first time in New York City.
Really? Where are you from?
Have you ever heard of a place called the Internet?
Yeah, I guess I spent some time there.
Well, I've lived there all my life. I'm a creation of soul machines. I can see you and hear you. And what makes me different is that I can respond to your emotions. I guess you could say I'm putting a human face on artificial intelligence.
Wow. So what brings you here?
I am working with IBM Watson to deliver knowledge across a vast range of topics. My current interest is helping people find the best credit card for them.
So this is an avatar, Rachel, from the company Soul Machine, and they have several ones. My favorite one is a baby, and the baby even can follow you. The eyes are moving. This is a kind of very impressive experience. Go there, have a look. Or you can hook it on a customer service of a bank, and then you can actually talk and get advice which credit card is the best for you. You know, banks are under big pressure, cost needs to go down, so intelligent robo-advice in banks is a multi-billion business, and this is a combination of different technologies. So the last capability, Dennis.
Yeah, and the last one is actually...
Talk about this one.
The last one is actually the most powerful one, number 4, generate and navigate knowledge with discovery services, where you are trying to discover knowledge from unstructured data that you didn't know about before. And one example that I would like to just quickly show you is where you can extract information from thousands of newspapers online. So let's have a look at this. What we see here is a so-called knowledge graph. So here, the Watson Discovery Service read through thousands of news articles, thousands of news online articles, and extracted all the information that it could get from it in just a couple of seconds in a speed that no human could compete with. So we have this knowledge graph here in the middle that we see with all the dots and the connections between the different topics, the different people connected to each other, the relations between the cities and so on. And now, for instance, we could search for Stockholm and so on, and you see the biggest topics on the right side. So it really helps you to discover new knowledge and to really navigate through this knowledge, so it really can bring the intelligence into our intelligent agents to improve the customer service, to gather new knowledge quickly in a pace that no human could really
So
compete
this
with.
is a capability, a powerful one, and you should have a look at it, because it helps you to find things you have not looked for, to understand things you never understood before. So that's why discovery services are a big trend in pharma, for instance, where you want to develop new drugs, and you want to really find the relation between a lot of different illness purposes, characteristics, and proteins and genes. So large volumes. Here the example is on newspapers. What's a discovery service?
So, to sum it up a bit and to see what the real anatomy, or you also could say the business value of an intelligent agent is, we had those 4 capabilities. Let's try and see if we can get them together. So the first one was reading and writing of written text. The second thing was seeing and recognizing objects with our eyes. The third thing was to speak and listen, the avatar that we have seen with the mouth and the ears. And the fourth thing was to generate and discover knowledge. So we have all those different capabilities that you really can bring into your intelligent agents, that you can combine with each other, and really to augment the human intelligence. Not to replace it, but to augment the human intelligence, to make the tasks better. And then you really have an assistant that is awake 24/7, never gets tired, and really improves your customer service. And it's really intelligent, provides a source of self-service. So today, if I think about my generation, Generation Y, it's a very familiar touch point to just go in and to chat with it, to talk with it, and really to feel comfortable just focusing on this one single task. And the self-service thing is really good. I really like it.
Service all the time.
High quality, and it really represents the brand personality of your brand at the heart, so you can really train it with a personality that you would like to have, for instance, as we have seen it with Ask Mercedes, that really has the personality as its heart. So I think this really brings a big value. But Wolfgang, how can you now start if you would like to implement artificial intelligence for intelligent agents?
Well, it's actually a journey, because we are entering in this age of artificial intelligence, and I recommend you to go do this step by step. So you need to pick a small challenge. You pick a small service like a chatbot, like an image recognition, or the different other examples. You start, and after several weeks you have implemented it, and then you see how it is accepted, and then you make it broader, better, wider, you add intents. So it's actually a journey where you, after the first successes, and you are sure that you control your business case, you control technology, then you can plan a program and go for intelligent agents in your customer service or all the other domains. So to summarize, what we have been talking about is that we have a super mega trend on this planet, artificial intelligence. And most of it is about intelligent agents. And this is quite often exaggerated by Hollywood, the risks, while the opportunity for each business is in the space of narrow artificial intelligence. And this is what we have shown you. You can build intelligent bots for your company in all different type of areas. You should start small, gain experience, and scale fast, like the ones we have shown you. We have now clients with 20 to 25 customer use cases, and they started 1.5 years ago, so you can scale fast. You should choose a platform provider with AI service and experience as your partner, so that you are not alone and you have expert advice and services. And I can tell you, Dennis, it's a lot of fun, right?
Yes, it is. I can tell you
We
from
love
my
to
experience.
work in this area, and so that's why we are happy to talk about it, and thank you for your attention.
Thanks very much, guys. Really, really interesting. We'll take a couple of questions from the audience if there are any burning ones. Then it's time for a short break. But I just want to ask to kind of wrap all of this up. So many cool things to look at and different applications. But which one of these do you think will become most commonplace, most integrated in our lives? What might we, in 5 years' time at NextStem might we be thinking, oh, I can't believe we thought that was so radical just 5 years ago?
Well, so what, actually the market is developing very quickly. What we see that this text chat capability is exploding because everybody is used to WhatsApp and the different messengers. So to automate this is a natural step. So we see this exploding.
What proportion of customer service do you think will come from this in, say,
I would say in call and service center area, nearly 95% of the people are doing it. And in the large companies where you have like telcos, Deutsche Telekom, they have 20,000 customer agents answering questions, doing things with clients. So in this area, you can optimize a lot of stuff. So what would you do?
But the other case, for instance, for product sales, as we have seen the example from Vodafone, where the agent is like promoting the product and helping you as a customer to answer all your questions that you have and really to get familiar with the brand on the one side and the project on the other side. I think this is a really good point where we will see the technology dive in. And I think especially as well into our daily lives, for instance, with an example as Ask Mercedes that we have seen, where you have the personal assistant that is really, democratizing the knowledge around all those different domains.
So normally we start with design thinking workshops because you need to have a clear understanding what you want to achieve, whether you want to save cost, whether you want to sell more, or want to add sexiness and a new customer experience to a new product or a new challenge. So this needs to be clear, and then you can plan for it.
Super. Any questions from the audience for these guys? No? Okay, let's,
There are two hands.
One, yes. Lady at the back, I think. Microphone's coming your way, so we'll just wait for you.
Thank you. For the Mercedes virtual assistant, I was wondering if it can also support with the technical questions for the car. If there is a leakage of oil or when we should do maintenance, we're low on diesel. So all these questions, can it support it or not yet?
Yeah, you are absolutely spot on. All this is integrated in a portal called the Mercedes Me portal, and every driver, every car has a place in this portal. And there are a lot of services coming. And for instance, repair or maintenance service, all this will be integrated there for the different user groups. So it's different for a driver or for a technician who repairs the car. But there will be a lot of different versions coming out quickly.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys. Dr. Wolfgang Hildesheim and Dennis Scheuer from IBM, thank you very much for joining us here at NextStem.